Hey everybody, you're watching A Physio Named Jonah. That's this guy. Today's video, we're doing something a little bit different. Instead of talking about an NFL player who was just injured, we're going to talk about a person who has never played a snap of NFL football before. And that person is me, and the fact that I just remembered today that I am one step closer to the grave than I was yesterday thanks to doing research for this video and learning that Jameson Williams was born in 2001? What? I remember when people used to think I was young because I was born in 1995, and now here I am making a video about somebody born in 2001 who just made how much as a signing bonus? So Jameson Williams is coming back soon. I've been talking a lot this season about injuries that just happened in the NFL and what we can expect moving forwards for the rest of the season. Today, we're going to talk about Jameson Williams' injury that he had back in college and what we can expect for him at the end of this season, as well as extending into next season. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button down below and click the bell so you are notified when I release new videos just like this one. I'm a physiotherapist who makes videos on physio-related topics like sports injuries, so come hang out with me as I chat about things that both professionally interest me, as well as fill me with a deep sense of impending doom regarding the impermanence of my earthly existence. You can also leave a thumbs up if you want. So why are we here talking about Jameson Williams today? Well, it's because Jameson Williams, first-round rookie wide receiver for the Detroit Lions, has officially returned to practice. Williams was one of the top receivers selected in this last year's NFL draft, being selected at 12th overall by the Detroit Lions. And if you look at what he did with Alabama in the college game last year, there's not really much question as to why. The dude is absolutely blazingly fast and incredibly talented. If you're wondering why he's just starting to practice now though, going into week 12 of the NFL 2022 season, look no further than this. January 10th, 2022, in the national championship game between Alabama and Georgia, Jameson Williams had about as graphic of an ACL tear as you will see recorded in live sports. As he turned around and made a cut following a catch, you could see his knee do something that knees should not do. What happened there and what you're seeing in the video is a lot of forward translation or forward movement of the shin bone or the tibia. This puts a lot of stress onto the ACL, and in Jameson Williams' case caused it to completely rupture, which required surgery in the off-season to repair. ACL surgery, if you're not familiar with it, can be quite the difficult thing to recover from, mostly just because it takes a fair bit of time. In general, we assume that after an ACL surgery, it's going to take at least 9 months for an athlete to get back to where they need to be on the field. Given that this injury happened last year, January 10th, he probably had surgery pretty quickly. Today is November 23rd, 2022. He's just over 10 months into his recovery. This means that if he's had 10 months to recover and ACL surgeries usually take 9, he probably is ready to go at this point. It doesn't seem like they're rushing him back or trying to take anything too quickly. My personal opinion, if the team is putting him back into practice, it's probably a good sign that he's actually ready to go. Williams has been around and with the team based on all reports coming out of Detroit, so I think that he is actually ready. He's been doing all the weekly normal activities and staying engaged with the Lions, so he should be able to slot back in as easily as possible. I think one of the big questions that we often have when a player has been away with injury like this is, what do we expect once they get back onto the field now? Is he going to look like the same electric player that we saw in college? Or is he going to look like somebody who's coming off of a pretty catastrophic knee injury? That being, not as fast or good. Well, here's some good news, Lions fans. Outcomes following ACL repair are really good. Players coming back off of ACL rehab may be more likely to pull one of the muscles around their knee, like Godwin pulled his hamstring, because if your strength isn't back to where it was before, or potentially even better, it can put you at a bit more of a risk of pulling one of those muscles. My personal opinion, I don't think Williams is going to be lacking too much of his explosiveness, and I really wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this year he's made a couple highlight reel catches that remind us of what he was doing at Alabama. He's had the time to recover, the team thinks that he's ready. I think that he's going to put on at least a play or two before the end of the year that show the same explosive athlete that was lighting up the college scene. With that in mind though, and this is pretty important for the next part of this video, I don't think that he's going to be at his full potential speed based off of what he could be at this point. He just missed most of this last offseason from participating with the team and doing speed training, so as good as he may look at the end of this season, whatever that is, I'd expect him to look a lot better next year. This brings us to something very near and dear to my heart, fantasy football. A world where Amon-Ra St. Brown managers are just a little bit panicked about the fact that Williams is coming back. I'm one of those managers. You know, I don't think there's that much reason for panic though. Williams occupies a very different space in the offense than St. Brown does. Williams is going to provide that deep vertical threat presence in the passing game that St. Brown doesn't really rely on. I think if anything, having a player that can just totally take the top off of a defense is actually going to open up more targets and possibilities for St. Brown in the areas of the field where he does most of his damage. Essentially, adding Williams back into the offense, even if he's not at his full capability, is likely going to help St. Brown because defenses are going to have to respect that deep shot presence that he provides. I mean, true, maybe I just think this because I need Amon-Ra St. Brown to be good for my team going into the fantasy playoffs. This is true. This is true. But still, I do think there's very legitimate reasons to expect that Williams is going to add to the Detroit offense and make the players on that team better, as opposed to take away from the fantasy value of an Amon-Ra St. Brown, just for example. Not that he's on my mind or anything. Do I think Williams is going to be a big fantasy player for the rest of this year? Probably not. He may have a couple big catches or long bomb touchdowns, but I don't think he's going to really be what his potential is in the offense because he's just getting to practice this week. He's going to have to relearn everything and get some chemistry going with Jared Goff. In Dynasty Leagues though, now I think there's an opportunity here. As I mentioned earlier, I think whatever Williams puts on the field this season is going to be significantly less than what he's capable of going into next season. So if he potentially doesn't show as well as we think he's capable of, this could be a good opportunity to try and snag him away from the Williams manager. I get it, this may be difficult, but if he has a slow finish to this season, maybe isn't really producing, kind of more a decoy out there, I think you could potentially sell the narrative to the Williams manager that this injury is going to be bothering this player for longer or hampering him long term. His injury shouldn't hold him back, you're lying. And you will just want to wait on that player a little bit so you can provide something in the meantime. When in reality what you're doing is prying away a potential superstar wide receiver who should not be hindered by his ACL moving forwards. If you stuck around to this point in the video, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something new and gained some new context on what to expect when Jameson Williams gets back out there on the field. If this video sparked any questions for you, drop them for me in the comments section below. I do my best to respond within a day or two, so I look forward to chatting with you there. But most importantly though guys, as always, move your body, have a laugh today, and I will see you at the next video.